Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing here in the playoffs at Richmond Raceway in the Xfinity Series as well as the Cup Series. But on the Truck Series side of things, we have my home track in Canada here. A very fun racetrack to race at here at Mosport. And as you guys know, every single truck race throughout the season with our custom-owned team, we have a community member slash subscriber that is in the truck. And for this episode, we had RC Luke 24 in the truck for us here in the Chevrolet Silverado 250 at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. So very excited to see how RC can do. Unfortunately, we failed inspection and had to actually start at the back of the field, so that was a bit of a hiccup. So I wasn't expecting the best finish in the world here as he came through turn one. He was, though, having to be very aggressive right off the bat, making some three wide moves as he goes down towards turn two there up the inside of the 0-2 of Tyler Young now, as he's just going to try and work his way through at the only road course race of the season so far here in the Truck Series. Now, as that's going to change, I think in 2021, they just announced they will be going to the Daytona road course actually next year in the Truck Series as well as in the Cup Series, replacing that Auto Club race now, as there you see RC Luke making up a handful of positions here in this first part of the lap as he comes through up into what is one of my favorite corners in all of NASCAR right now, as this is a very tricky corner. You can really easily mess it up, but he manages to get through there pretty well, actually making up a bunch of positions as it was just a huge backup right there, and that played into RC Luke's favor perfectly as he was able to, like I say, make up some positions. We come through a little bit later in the race now. This is actually coming towards the final few laps of the race, and he continued to make some moves. He got to the left-hand side now of Tyler Ankrum and was just continuing to work his way towards the top 20 and closing in hopefully towards a top 15 before this race was over now, as he sure enough would be able to pass Tyler Ankrum here into turn one, but he goes a little bit wide, allowing Ankrum to actually fight back up that right-hand side as he goes down the straightaway towards turns two, but he wouldn't be able to defend over Ankrum. So we come through to the final lap now here in Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. He was right on the back there of that number 32 of Gus Dean, as they're going to be side by side down the back straightaway here for the final time in Mosport now, as Gus Dean has a bit of a runaway now, as it's very close quarters now as RC Luke fights back to that right hand side by side again down the back straightaway here for the final time in Mosport now, as you come up through to a little bit of another kind of easy but at the same time it's tricky here as you come through into this right bend, and fortunately RC goes gets through there pretty well. He did go a little bit wide, but it wasn't too bad now as it comes through into the penultimate corner and down towards the final corner after starting at the back of the field after failing technical inspection. RC Luke 24 comes through to get a very solid finish for us here in Canada as he comes through there to cross the line in front of Gus Dean for a P13 finish. So can't complain about that at all, and that of course helps us in the playoff situation as Stuart Friesen, the Canadian, wins at his home racetrack here in Mosport. So a very good effort from him now as you see the rest of the finishing order, and of course we will see now what the playoff grid looks like at the end of this race here in Canada now, as like I said, RC got us the best finish possible considering the situation, and we are 11 points above the cut line now after that one. So we come through into the Xfinity Series side of things here at Richmond for the first race of the Xfinity Series playoffs. I did simulate this one. Zane Smith, though, the rookie, picked up the victory. Now he is locked into the next round of the playoffs. Anthony Alfredo down there in P12. As you see, Harrison Burton was in our car for the start car in the 20. He was down in P17 as you come through right to the bottom where Jesse Little finished in the last position. I actually should correct myself. Richmond was the last race of the regular season that was, so this is the playoff grid though going into Bristol, as you can see right there. But we'll come through now into the Cup Series side of things for Richmond International Raceway, a track that I'm always not really sure how it's going to go. I'm on the fence usually coming into this one. So we come through though into qualifying. Last time we came to Richmond we did win though, so definitely helps my confidence here as we come through turns 1 and 2 in our qualifying attempt. And as we came through into turn 3 and 4, the goal was a 20.611. I was confident that we could maybe get close to it, but we exit turn 4 and I already realized we're going to be a little bit off, and it was a 20.933, so about 3/10 or so off of the goal, and we go P17 here for the Federated Auto Parts 400 here now. So not the greatest effort, but I know we have more speed in the car based off of the spring race where we qualified a lot worse than what we actually ran there. As you see, Brendan Gaughan at the very bottom here, he is in his final season of the career mode along with drivers like Ryan Newman, Kurt Busch, and David Reagan. Now has come through to see the top 10. Chase Briscoe P10, and on pole we got Denny Hamlin. So going to be interesting now, as you guys know, in the last episode of the career mode for the first race of the playoffs at Darlington, a few playoff drivers had some issues like Chase Briscoe and Ryan Blaney. They both DNF'd DNF'd, and they find themselves both now 18 points below the cut line. Martin Truex Jr., our teammate, picked up the victory. He is now into the next round. We are 37 points above the cut line. Hamlin 39. Kyle Busch didn't have a great race. He's only 21 above the cut line, but DiBenedetto, Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, and Ryan Blaney, all the 4 drivers right now on the outside looking in as we come through to start the second race of the playoffs here in the Federated Auto Parts 400. So it'll be interesting to see how Briscoe and Blaney really approach this one. Now, they're not in a must-win situation, but you can see right off the bat some more playoff implications, including Chase Briscoe. Matt DiBenedetto, though, he crashed during qualifying. He's starting at the back. Briscoe failed pre-race inspection, where right now for him, stage points are crucial, and, well, he is not really going to have a chance to get them here in stage 1. Alright guys, not the first race of the playoffs we're looking for, but let's have a good one tonight. You hear myself on the radio now as we are underway for the second race of the playoffs here at Richmond International Raceway, right behind that number 8 of Tyler Reddick here as we go down towards turns 1. Denny Hamlin leads the way into turn 1. He has Kurt Busch right on his back bumper. Joey Logano just behind myself. We've had quite a few moments with him recently, and he's just kind of been getting closer and closer to a rival, and the main goal here tonight is to make sure we do not make him a rival. And I was really surprised after the last race in Darlington that he was not a rival after we made a very ambitious move on him and ended up putting him right into the wall, and fortunately he was not actually, like I said, a rival after that one. Now as we come through into turn 1, after completing that first lap, Logano actually gets up my inside here as we go down the back straightaway side by side with the 2018 Penske champion into turn 3, but racing him as clean as I can to make sure I don't upset him at this point. He clears us, but we would actually be able to fight back to his inside as we came through into turn 3 on the next lap of the now lap 3 here as we come through out of turn 4. Kyle Busch, he was now up into second place, trying to run down our teammate Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones was up into P3, battling Kurt for second, or battling Kyle for second. Sorry, as I get into the back of the 43 of Kyle Larson, he goes sideways. We get past him, a bit of a bump and run there, and that also allows me to get well ahead of the 22 of Joey Logano, so we don't have to worry about him at all. So we come through out of turn 4 now on lap 4 to the inside of Chase Elliott, and we would continue in a bit of a side-by-side battle for a couple laps now, as we came through out of turn 2 on lap 5, coming to lap 6, still side-by-side with the Hendrick Motorsports driver of Chase Elliott and a future teammate of ours here as we go down into turn 1, and sure enough though, we would be able to clear Chase Elliott on the exit of turn 2. As you guys know, myself and Kyle Larson moving to Hendrick Motorsports next season in the career mode, replacing Eric Jones. Larson is in the 5 car, then I'll be in the 24, replacing William Byron, where you guys still do not know where William Byron is going in our career mode yet, but I will have an announcement on that in what will likely be the next episode or the episode after, but I'm very confident I'll put that announcement out in the next episode at Bristol here. As we would continue, though, on our journey through the field now to the inside of the 48 of Alex Bowman into turn 3. Bowman, he's had a decent season. He comes in one of the last seeds in the playoffs, obviously not now with the last seed, but he certainly was at the very bottom to get in, and he's definitely, I think, probably at least a driver that'll make it to the round of 12, hopefully to the round of 8. We'll see now as we come through now, passing the 8 of Tyler Reddick, so we move up into P7. Last time we came to Richmond, Tyler Reddick had a chance to win, and then he threw it away on one of the last restarts. Now as a caution actually comes out for the first time here tonight in Richmond as we run P7. Could not find in the replay mode the actual replay of the incident, but there you see the order currently, and I can confirm who did bring out the caution though. It was actually a DNF for Chase Elliott, a playoff contender. He is out of the Federated Auto Parts 400 here in Richmond. Elliott done. Playoff implications have now been a thing already here at the start of the race with Chase Briscoe, Matt DiBenedetto starting at the back, and it gets even worse for drivers like Chase Elliott as we come through on the pit lane. You can see him in his pit box. He is done for the night here in Richmond, but fortunately for him, he picked up a couple victories throughout the regular season as they go 3 wide for the lead. Kozlowski to the front, but Elliott does have a good chunk of playoff points, and this should keep him relatively safe, but he definitely can't afford to have something like that happen again in the next episode at Bristol or in the next round if he does indeed advance to that next round of the playoffs here. As we're right on the back of Hamlin, who was leading earlier in this race, and now we're right to the back of him as we go down into turn 1 as he's up the inside of the 88 of Eric Jones. Eric Jones having another strong run, exactly like I expected. I really do believe, although Jones doesn't have a win this season in the career mode, I think he's going to be a top 8 driver, or round of 8 driver I should say, and I think he's really going to be a legitimate factor to make it into that final 4 here as we come through though to complete stage 1. They're getting P5, they're just barely over Eric Jones now, so a very solid first stage for us here. Now as there's a lot to digest in this first stage with some of these playoff situations going on, but we would come into the pit lane here for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 tires, and I did not really feel the need to make any adjustments to the car at this point. Solid car so far, guys. I don't know if we got a winning car, but yeah, I mean, we just drove into the top 5. I think it feels a lot better, though, on the long run. a long run car for sure, definitely now, as we get ready to go green for the start of this second stage. Now, as we're going to be in P5 still, and you see right there, Kyle Busch was actually able to get in front of Hamlin on the pit stop. Christopher Bell having a good run here in P2. Now, as he was one of the drivers I'm choosing to probably get eliminated here in round 1, as we are underway for the start of the second stage in the Federated Auto Parts 400 at Richmond International Raceway. As we go down into turn 1, now Kyle Busch takes it 3 wide for the lead, passes Keselowski. Now, as we're going to get into the mix now, as we got sideways on the exit of turn 2, now as we go down towards turn 3 wide myself, as well as we go into the corner with Keselowski as well as Bell there, 3 wide behind us, and we now move up into the second position here on the exit of turn 4 as we come through to start the second lap at Richmond now of the second stage. As we go into turn 1, though, I immediately just kind of mess up. I slide off the track, opening the door for our teammate Martin Truex Jr., who gets up my inside, so he's going to pass us into turn 3. We now drift down into the third position. Truex was showing a lot of speed here, and both him and Kyle Busch would drive away from us here as we came through on lap 5. You can see I'm just losing ground to those guys up ahead. Logano briefly had now moved up into P4 behind us, but he was battling with his teammate Keselowski as well as Hendrick Motorsports driver of Eric Jones. So we came through now on lap 8, and Jones had actually run me down as we went into turn 1, and actually he gets into the side of us into turn 1, and he slides up the track, and now he's going to go all the way into the outside wall as we manage to keep it straight, but he really just messed us up. We lose a position to Logano, and Bell now as Harvick sends it up the inside and gets into our left rear quarter panel, and now he slides up and puts us both into the outside wall here as we exit turn 4. What in the world was Harvick doing right there? He just drove into the left rear. There you heard it. I mean, Harvick just drove into the left rear quarter panel. I gave him the room, and then he just kind of corrected or something and then just kind of misjudged and hit my left rear quarter panel, and unfortunately it affected his car to the point where he just drove up the track and took myself into the wall. But we would have to just kind of focus forwards and try to rally back. Of course, it all went downhill when the 88 drove into the side of me as well, which I gave Jones room, and I expected him to go lower, so I definitely did turn in earlier, and I think there was more of a racing incident between myself and Jones. But like I said, we just had to focus forward. We passed Hamlin, we got back to the inside of Brad Keselowski, and we would pass him into turn 1 now. As you see, Jones running up there in that 8th position is Kyle Busch. He was running away with the stage victory at this point now as we came through turns 3 of the inside now of that 88 of Eric Jones, behind that 95 of Christopher Bell, who's having an incredible run here in a time when he is in need of a very strong run here as we come through the center of 1 and 2. We clear Eric Jones, and I knew we just had a good car because you can just see how well, as when the run gets longer, just how well we're able to make up these positions. We get up the inside of the 95 of Bell, but then the caution comes out again as we're on the inside of him, and now we will all be forced into the pit lane here for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 tires. Once again, could not find the reason in the replay mode for how the caution happened now, as we will, though, get ready to go green now with less than about 15 laps to go here in stage 2. There you see Chase Elliott at the very bottom, 31 laps down, so very unfortunate for him. But like I said, I think he's made up enough playoff points throughout the regular season to where he should not be in too much of a danger now. As you see, Bubba Wallace having a good run here tonight in P6 now, as we are underway for now what will be a 10-lap dash to decide stage 2. Kurt Busch right behind his brother of Kyle as we go down into turn 1. I'm right behind that 22 of Joey Logano. I'm trying to make sure I don't run into him now as we come through the center of the corner, and we did a good job staying off the back of that 22, because we know just one little bit of contact at this point between myself and Joey Logano could officially spark the rivalry between himself and I as we exit turn 4 side by side with that 2311 racing car driven by Bubba Wallace now as we go down into turn 1. We're really starting to see some improvements from that 23 team, and I think it's just going to continue on into next season, where they're definitely going to be a playoff contender and maybe even a race winning contender next season in the career mode now. As you see, the 99 of Daniel Suarez, he's shown some potential this season in that car as well. But that really is going to be, he's going to have to rely, I should say, on the RCR as a whole developing their team. Now, as you guys know, they have an alliance with Richard Childress Racing as we exit turn 2 into the side there of the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. there, our teammate, as going to turn 3, and now he's going to go sideways because of the contact. He saves it there, but he's going to actually collect Brad Keselowski at a turn 4, who hits the 88 of Eric Jones. They all keep it going in the right direction, but that was a bit on me there. I just came out of turn 2 and drove into the side of the 19, but we just continue our way forwards as we came through to 4 laps to go now in stage 2, trying to put the pressure on Kyle Busch, but Ty Dillon, who's having a really good run, gets up my inside as we go down into turn 3. He kind of caught me off guard, to say the least here, and sure enough, on the exit of turn 4, Ty Dillon will clear me for the position, but I would fight back up his inside immediately here as we came through turns 3 and 4 on lap 34, coming to now 2 laps to go in stage 2, when we sure enough would be able to pass that 13 as we go down into turn 1, as Kevin Harvick finds himself leading the way here with about a lap and a half to go now in the second stage. So we come through to start the final lap now of stage 2. Harvick P1, Kurt Busch second, Logano third, Kyle Busch fourth, and myself here in P5 as we go down the back straightaway into turn 3 for the final time. Hamlin lurking behind in P6 as we come through out of turn 4. A very solid second stage considering a lot of the drama that happened there about the middle point of stage 2. So P5 it is here for us in the second stage. Solid effort there, guys. Definitely did not want all of that crap to happen there earlier in the stage, but we managed to get a decent result out of it. There you heard myself on the radio now as we will come into the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 tires as the usual. As you see the rest of the running order right now as William Byron finds himself down in P36. Not the effort he was looking for now. It was Chase Briscoe. He's kind of struggled throughout this race, but he's now worked himself up to P15. But no stage points for Chase, and that really puts him in a rough position now considering the points. I will be bringing back the live points in the next episode for what will be the cutoff race. I think I'll just do it for more cutoff races for now, and then when we get towards the end of the playoffs, it'll be there for every race now as we're underway for the start of the third and final stage here in Richmond. 39 laps to go. Harvick and Kurt Busch on that front row as we go down into turn 1. As we come through the center of the corner, we briefly got into the back of the 22 of Joey Logano, and I'm really hopeful that did not just spark the rivalry between himself and I, and we will not know until, of course, after the races we go down into turn 3, as Logano is going to go through to the lead here out of turn 4. A great move from him, and he is going to be side by side with Harvick now as Harvick actually edges back out in front into turn 1, but Logano has the run and the preferred lane through turns 1 and 2 that he takes over the lead as we're now side by side with the Chip Ganassi Racing driver of Kurt Busch in his final season of his Cup Series career here as Kyle Busch now moves through into second place. Harvick down to third as we try to fight it out for fourth place, but Kurt would get clear of me into turn 1. Kyle Busch immediately puts the attack to the inside of Logano, and he would just drive right on by Logano to take the lead. So now Logano down to second place and under attack right off the bat from Harvick, but then Harvick would actually fall off quite a bit to where Kurt Busch was able to pass him and pass Joey Logano, and then I would get to Harvick and get up the inside of him as we came through now on lap 69. Nice. Bubba Wallace just behind myself there is in the 6th position here as we go down into turn 3, and sure enough we just have more speed right now than that 4 of Harvick, who tries to fight back the best he can on that outside now. 31 laps to go here in Richmond as we go down into turn 1, but sure enough we will be able to pass the 2014 Cup Series champion to take over P4. Kyle Busch, though, driving away from the field at this point here as we came through on lap 72. Keselowski now putting some pressure on myself. He gets up my inside as we go down this back straightaway into turn 3. Now, Kurt Busch there in P3 behind Logano, so Keselowski's going to get past us. Hamlin's going to look to my inside as well as I hit the wall just ever so slightly there. The car just got really tight on the exit of turn 4, and unfortunately we paid the price for that and dropped down now to P6 behind Hamlin, but we have to put the attack on him right away to try and get back in front of him as we go to that right-hand side of him into turn 3. Knows Hamlin sideways into the corner there, and he saves it, but I'm not sure what caused that because we did not run into him at all there, so I was very confused by that, but we would continue on our way unless maybe I just ever so slightly touched him on the exit of turn 2 on his back bumper. I really wasn't sure because it definitely did not look like I ran into him, but we come through now to the inside of Brad Keselowski with 25 laps to go. Kyle Busch, he was long gone, just cruising his way to victory, hoping it would stay green as now we clear Keselowski. Then we try to put our car to the inside of Kurt Busch, and now Keselowski is actually going to fight back on the exit of turn 4 with now 23 laps to go as we go down into turn 1. Now some contact again with the 2 of Keselowski. He's going to go sideways now as he gets hit by the 23 of Bubba Wallace. He's into the outside wall and around, and now he gets hit by the 19 of Truex, the 43 of Larson involved, and the caution comes out now here with 23 laps to go in Richmond. I thought he was going to turn down to the actual bottom of the track, which was the lane he was in. I mean, that's not on me. He just needs to learn to turn the car left. There you hear some frustration from myself, just saying he just needs to turn left better, I guess. Now, as we give up 11 positions, though, on the pit lane. We've definitely been involved in a few moments here tonight with some of our competitors, some playoff competitors now. As we get back underway, I did take some tires, and that's why we gave up the track position. I knew I didn't have a car capable of winning, so I was all for giving up some track position, as we're 3 wide with Larson and Briscoe, and we're already making moves now as we get to the inside of the driver that we just took out of Brad Keselowski into turn 3 now, as Bowman's just behind us. He's going to get out by inside, actually, as we exit turn 4. So we're 3 wide currently in the middle, as I know I'm probably going to have to dive into turn 1 to clear Bowman, and sure enough, we do clear Alex Bowman into the corner now as he is under attack from his teammates of Eric Jones. So back up into P9 as Kyle Busch, he's already driving away from the field. I would put the attack now, though, to the inside of Truex as well as Kurt Busch, and we would get past Truex nearly, but I get sideways there on the exit of turn 2, allowing Truex to fight back down the back straightaway into turn 3 here. Now, as we're just doing what we can now, but it's definitely a challenge for myself as we exit turn 4 3 wide with Truex and Kurt again with 15 laps to go. As we go down into turn 1, trying to move up into about P7 or so, we are in a really good position right now in the playoffs, so we don't really need to be forcing anything too hard, but I'm really wanting to get up at least into the top 5 as we get up the inside of the 22 of Joey Logano. So now into P6 as he just goes all the way up by the wall, so we easily clear him, and Ty Dillon has had a great run all night long. We would fight him down or run him down and fight him for 5th place now, and we clear him for that 5th position as we are approaching just 10 laps to go in this race. But out of turn 4, I get very tight on the exit of the corner, and I hit the outside wall and lose the position to Kyle Larson as well as Chase Briscoe into turn 1. Briscoe has rallied his way all the way up into the 6th position here as we come through, approaching the final 10 laps of this race, and immediately I put the fight back, though, to the inside of the 14 of Briscoe into turn 3, and we will be able to pass him now for that 6th position. And once again, we'll try to run down that 43 of Kyle Larson as Truex, he was following me through there on that bottom lane here with 11 laps to go, but I go a little bit too deep into turn 1, leaving the door open for our teammate of Truex. Now up ahead, you see our other teammates of Hamlin and Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch continues to just dominate this race here as we're going to turn 3, sliding in behind the 19 of Truex. He would then get up the inside of Kyle Larson, and I was just kind of following him at this point here as we come through out of turn 2, so I'm going to get to the inside of the 43 of Larson as well, a future teammate of ours, so definitely going to try and race him as clean as I can into turn 3, and sure enough, we clear him for P6 now as we try to run down Truex again. Sure enough, on lap 93 out of turn 2, we get back up the inside of Martin Truex Jr. down this back straightaway. Chase Briscoe just behind there, and at P7, who's having a good run in the final stage, but the lack of stage points for him really could play a big role in determining if he has a chance to make it into that round of 12 or not, and maybe he'll be in a must-win situation. But we come through to now 3 laps to go, closing the gap to the back of Denny Hamlin into turn 3, but then the caution comes out from the 00 car of Quinn Helf, who brings out the yellow and is going to force overtime on the field here in the 2nd race of the playoffs. We've had a history of just very short 2-lap dashes here in Richmond, and usually the driver that is leading on that final restart does not come out with the victory. So Kyle Busch might be in a bit of danger here now as Bubba Wallace lines up in P3. Definitely, I could take a 3 wide here into turn 1. I was thinking about that, but I didn't really want to mess over Bubba here, who is an affiliate teammate looking for what could be his first win of his Cup Series career, as we are underway with 2 laps to go in overtime now as we go down into turn 1. But Bubba decides he's going to play it relatively safe there through turns 1 and 2. We're up the inside of our teammate of Denny Hamlin, a little bit sideways there on the exit of turn 2, a lap and a half to go here in Richmond as we dive down into turn 3. Kyle Busch now has to defend over the 23 of Bubba Wallace as we exit turn 4. Hamlin would love to see his car go to victory lane now as we go into turn 1 on this final lap in Richmond, but Bubba goes all the way to the top. I'm going to force a 3 wide up the inside of Harvick and Bubba as we exit turn 2 now. Some contact there with the 4 of Harvick as Kyle Busch drives away into turn 3. Harvick sideways into the back of us. He moves us up the track here as we come through 3 and 4 for the final time. 3 wide on the exit of 4. Kyle Busch wins in Richmond. We come through to cross the line just behind the 4 of Harvick after what was a bump and run there as we finish P6 now as Ty Dillon managed to finish up in P3. A great run all night long for him in the Federated Auto Parts 400, and there you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen. Chase Elliott, though, the only playoff driver that DNF'd tonight, and you're about to see how it affected him. He is now only 14 points above the cut line going into Bristol, so he is not in a safe position, but he at least is still above that cut line now. As you see, DiBenedetto, Briscoe, Almirola, Blaney still the 4 out. Blaney 27 out, he realistically will have to win. Almirola, Briscoe, DiBenedetto could all still very well point their way in. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out here in the next episode of the career mode. Now, as you see the playoff grid now in the Truck Series, once again, 11 points to the good there for our team in the Truck Series as we go into Bristol. So very confident with what we can do on that side. On the Xfinity side, the star car right now in P6 in the standings, and of course the Cup Series, the most important one there, as you see actually Justin Haley at the very bottom now as we check out the Cup Series standings one more time. So far 2 playoff races, and it has been won by both Joe Gibbs drivers both times now, as it was Truex in Darlington, Kyle Busch tonight here in Richmond. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you do know what to do. And before we end it, there you see on the reputation screen, we have officially made our very first rival of Joey Logano. That one little bump on a restart sent him over the edge. So now we have a rival, and we're definitely going to have to keep that in mind here for the coming episodes now, as that's going to be a bit of a challenge. We haven't had a rival yet in the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode, but Joey Logano was the first one to do so. So it's going to be interesting to see how that impacts our playoff run, in which has been a great season for us. But before we end it, I just want to say thank you to the Going Racing members, MJ, Aiden, Eric, Dylan, Joseph 9001, as well as RJ. So I will see you guys in the next one at Bristol Motor Speedway, where we determine the final 12 drivers to advance. Now, as Brian Blaney finds himself in what will be a must-win scenario, we'll see if he can pull it off in what has so far been a winless season. Thank you all for watching, and have yourselves a great day, everybody.